I turned 65 not long ago, and I came across something that sat heavy on my chest. About half of men my age never see 85. Not because they did something wild or reckless, not because of one giant screw-up, but because of small, ordinary choices they keep making every single day after 65, without ever stopping to ask what those choices are quietly costing them. That hit me harder than I expected. So what I'm about to say here is not fear talk. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. If you made it to 65, you already beat a whole lot of odds. A lot of men never got this far. The truth is, once you cross this line, your chances of seeing another 15 or 20 years actually go up. That's the good news nobody talks about enough. But there's another side to it. The years between 65 and 85 are not decided by drama. They're decided by habits, quiet ones, respectable ones, the kind nobody argues with, the kind that look harmless. I've watched other men fall into them. I've caught myself drifting into a few too. I'm going to walk through 7 of them. I'll start with the ones that seem small and work my way toward the one that, in my opinion, does more quiet damage than anything else. The first one is this: you stop learning. A lot of men hit their 60s and decide they've learned enough. New tech feels annoying, new ideas feel unnecessary. Artificial intelligence shows up, and the reaction is, not for me. I see it all the time. I even feel it sometimes. It's easier to shrink your world. Fewer trips, fewer new faces, fewer places where you might look foolish. You tell yourself you've earned the right to stay comfortable. I've done that, especially with travel. I've talked myself out of going places just because it felt like too much effort. But here's what I've noticed. When you stop stretching your mind, your world slowly gets smaller. Your confidence thins out, curiosity dries up, and people blame age for that. I don't buy it anymore. The brain doesn't fade because the calendar flips. It fades because it's not being used. From everything I've read and from what I've seen in real life, a life that keeps shrinking rarely stays long. When your days look the same, feel the same, demand nothing from you, something inside you starts powering down. That's mistake number 7. Quiet, polite, deadly over time. Then there's the next one, ignoring little health signals. A bit more tired than usual, getting winded on stairs, balance feels slightly off, blood sugar creeping up, a dull ache in your stomach that comes and goes. None of it screams emergency, so you brush it off. I did. For years, I walked around with pain that was labeled as kidney stones. That's what I was told. I accepted it. I didn't push. I didn't ask for a second look. I didn't get regular blood work the way you'd service a car you care about. Then one day it hit me hard. I mean hard. Turned out it was gallstones, not what I'd been told. By then, the only fix left was surgery. Gallbladder gone. I can't blame anybody else for that. I trusted. I avoided hassle. I waited for something obvious. Health usually doesn't fall apart in one loud crash. It wears down quietly while you're busy living. You keep waiting for a clear sign, but by the time it's clear, the repair job is bigger than it needed to be. If I've learned anything, it's this: long life favors early course correction, not last-minute rescue. That's another mistake we call normal. And then there's friendships. When you leave work, The built-in social life disappears. The daily conversations, the shared complaints, the routine of seeing the same faces. You think the real friendships will stick. Some do, a lot don't. People move, people get busy, people drift. It's real easy to turn inward, especially if you're wired like me. I'm naturally introverted. Left to myself, I can go days barely speaking to anyone outside my house, and part of me likes it. But isolation has a cost. It messes with sleep. It increases stress in the body. It raises the risk for heart problems and even memory issues. Loneliness doesn't feel like a medical condition, but it can slowly become one. Staying connected after 60 isn't some optional hobby. It's protection. I don't always enjoy pushing myself out the door, but I do it anyway. Coffee with someone, a walk with a group, a call I don't feel like making, because the alternative is worse. Now let me talk about stress, the kind that doesn't look dramatic. Bad sleep, constant news cycles, money worries, tension inside the family. You shrug and say, that's just how life is. But low-level stress that never shuts off is like a slow leak in a tire. You don't notice it at first, then one day you're running flat. Chronic stress wears down the heart. It chips away at the immune system. It clouds the brain. Even if you've gotten used to it, your body is still keeping score. I had to get honest about my own stress levels. There were days I thought I was fine, but my body was tight, restless, on edge. So I started paying attention. When I feel wound up now, I don't power through it. I go outside. I walk for an hour, preferably somewhere with trees and open sky. Nature does something medicine can't always do. It brings you back to baseline. You may have your own way. Prayer, fishing, working in the yard, long drives with no destination. Whatever lowers the noise inside you, do more of that. Because stress that feels normal is still stress. Then there's food. A lot of us eat at 65 the way we ate at 40. Same portions, same habits, more processed stuff sneaks in because it's easy. Protein drops off without us realizing it. 10 years ago, I would have told you I ate pretty healthy. Meanwhile, I was gaining belly fat. My knees hurt, my feet hurt. Inflammation was my daily companion. I didn't connect the dots. When I finally cleaned things up, cut down the processed junk, pulled back on red meat, ditched refined sugar, something shifted. The aches eased up. I stopped catching every little bug going around. My energy steadied out.
After 60, food is not just calories. It's either building you up or wearing you down. There's not much neutral territory anymore. You don't feel old just because you're old. A lot of the time, you feel old because your body's inflamed, undernourished, and overfed at the same time. Then comes retirement itself. Stopping work is one thing. Stopping effort is another. When structure disappears, so does a lot of movement. You sit more, you challenge yourself less, you answer to no one. That sounds nice at first. But muscle doesn't stick around just because you used to have it. If you don't use it, you lose it. And once muscle goes, falls become more likely. Recovery gets harder. One bad fall can change everything. Most men don't decline overnight. They decline after they stop pushing themselves physically. That's why I lift weights a couple times a week. Nothing heroic, just enough to remind my body it's still needed. I walk every day. I carry a backpack up hills on weekends, not because I'm trying to impress anyone, because I want my legs under me for as long as possible. Muscle loss has a name now, sarcopenia. Sounds technical. All it means is your strength quietly draining away. If you don't fight it, it wins. And now I'll tell you the one that scares me the most. Waking up without a reason. No one needing you. No responsibility pulling you forward. No project calling your name. Retirement can hand you that emptiness if you're not careful. When nothing's expected of you, it becomes easy to expect nothing from yourself. You move less, you care less, you start fading around the edges. I went through that. The first stretch after I stopped working was harder than I admit out loud. I had days that felt gray and flat. I didn't realize how much my sense of worth had been tied to being needed. People die from diseases, yes, that's part of the deal. But there's another kind of fading that comes from having no purpose. That one feels preventable. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to change the world. It just has to matter to you. For me, this channel became that thing. Talking to you, thinking through these ideas, feeling like my experience might help someone else avoid a mistake I made. That gives me a reason to get up. Reaching 85 is not about obsessing over numbers. It's about guarding the good years in the middle, the stretch where you can still walk strong, think clearly, laugh easily, and live on your own terms. Those years are precious, but they don't protect themselves. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. I'm not standing above you preaching. I'm standing beside you, trying to hold on to my own edge. We made it to 65. That's no small thing. What we do next, quietly, daily, almost invisibly, will decide how far we go from here. You know, when I sit with all this long enough, what really unsettles me isn't death itself. It's shrinking before I'm gone. I've seen it happen.
A man retires. The first year feels like freedom. Second year feels like rest. Third year starts to feel quiet. Fourth year gets smaller. By the fifth year, his world fits inside a recliner, a television, and a pill organizer. Nobody announces it. There's no big dramatic moment. Just less walking, less calling, less caring, less trying. And here's the part nobody likes to admit. It feels comfortable at first. You wake up with nowhere you have to be, no boss, no deadlines, no pressure. You tell yourself you earned this. Maybe you did. But the body and the mind were not designed for permanent ease. They were built for engagement, for effort, for friction. When effort disappears completely, something inside you starts powering down. I remember a stretch after I stopped working where my days blurred together. I would wake up, pour coffee, sit in the same chair, scroll news, shake my head at the world, eat something I didn't need, promise myself I'd start tomorrow. Tomorrow kept moving. I wasn't sick, I wasn't depressed in the clinical sense, I was drifting. That's the word nobody uses enough, drifting. Drifting is slow. Drifting doesn't feel dangerous, but drifting takes you places you never meant to go. I started noticing little things, getting winded easier, sleeping worse, snapping over nothing, feeling strangely irrelevant. And irrelevance is heavy for a man. For decades you were needed. You provide, you fix, you solve, you show up. Then one day the world doesn't lean on you the same way. That shift can bruise you deeper than you expect. If you don't replace that sense of being needed with something new, you start fading from the inside.
That's why purpose matters so much. And I'm not talking about starting a foundation or writing a bestseller. I mean something simple but real, a commitment, a responsibility, a reason someone or something depends on you. It could be mentoring a younger guy. It could be volunteering. It could be helping your neighbor. It could be building something with your hands. It could even be learning something you always postponed. The scale doesn't matter. Ownership matters. When nothing pulls you forward, gravity wins. And let me say something else that might not sound popular. Complaining ages you faster than years do. I've caught myself doing it, complaining about politics, complaining about kids these days, complaining about technology, complaining about aches. There's a place for frustration. The world is not simple. But if complaining becomes your main hobby, your nervous system stays lit up, your mind narrows, and your conversations shrink to the same three subjects. That kind of mental loop is corrosive. I had to start asking myself, am I becoming one of those men who only talks about what's wrong? Because that man doesn't look alive. He looks tired. Another thing I've learned, pride can quietly cost you years. Men our age don't like asking for help. We don't like admitting weakness. We don't like looking confused, so we fake understanding. We delay checkups. We avoid difficult conversations. Pride kept me from getting a second medical opinion. Pride told me I was fine. Pride whispered that I didn't need to bother anyone. Pride is expensive. Humility, on the other hand, might extend your life. Asking questions, admitting you don't know, getting checked, saying you're struggling, letting someone help you. That's strength, not weakness. I had to learn that later than I should have. And here's something else I don't hear talked about enough. Movement is medicine, but so is sunlight. I notice a difference in myself during winter. Short days, more time indoors, less natural light. My mood shifts without me realizing it. Energy dips. Motivation softens. We underestimate how much being outside regulates us. When I walk under open skies, something recalibrates. My breathing deepens. My thoughts slow. My shoulders drop. We evolved outside. Locking ourselves indoors for most of the day after retirement isn't neutral. It affects us. The body wants motion, the mind wants novelty, the heart wants connection, the spirit wants meaning. When any of those go missing for too long, decline begins quietly. And let me say something that might sound blunt. Nobody is coming to rescue your 70s. Doctors can patch you up, family can love you, friends can encourage you, but the daily choices are yours. You decide whether you stand up or stay seated. You decide whether you call someone or isolate. You decide whether you lift something heavy or lift the remote. You decide whether you learn something new or say, I'm too old for that. Those choices look tiny in the moment, but stacked over 10 or 20 years, they build a completely different ending. I don't say this as a man who has it mastered. I still battle laziness. I still battle comfort. I still battle the voice that says it doesn't matter. It does matter, because the years between 65 and 75 can be powerful. You still have experience, you still have strength if you protect it, you still have perspective. Younger people don't. But that window is not permanent. If you guard it, physically, mentally, socially, it can stretch beautifully into your 80s. If you neglect it, it tightens fast. I don't obsess about reaching 85 just to hit a number. I care about arriving there upright, clear-headed, independent, curious. I want to be the old man who still asks questions, who still walks hills, who still shows up for people, who still laughs easily. That version of me is not guaranteed. He's earned daily. And if you're listening to this at 65 or 68 or 72, you are not done. You are not obsolete. You are not invisible unless you choose to disappear. There is still runway ahead, but it requires intention, small adjustments, honest self-audits, less drifting, more choosing. I've made mistakes, I still do, but I refuse to fade quietly without a fight. If any part of this sounds familiar, sit with it. Don't panic, just pay attention. The quiet habits decide the loud outcomes, and we still have time to choose better ones.